This is a video about improving lab reports, and I'm going to use some old lab reports from folks who studied with me before to give you some ideas on how your lab reports might be better. Particularly, you're going to be able to look at some not so well written lab reports. Although they have the things that they should have, it's a little hard to read some of the words. First of all, the title of a lab report should tell us something about what you're studying. Here, we're studying chemical and physical properties and chemical and physical change. And in most reports, you're going to write an objective that you could test. So the objective, perhaps here, is to determine what physical and chemical changes occur when candles burn. The title should tell us something about what you were studying. Think about this title. It just says the candle. Does that tell us what we're studying about the candle? There are qualitative descriptions, and qualitative description here has only a diagram and some text. The description is of the shape, color, odor, hardness, and any other property that doesn't come with a measurement, a number, and a unit. Look at this and see what you think is good and what is needing help on this description. Here's another qualitative description, only having diagram and text. Look at it and critique this description. Quantitative data should be displayed in a table. And you can see here a table that one of the students has written. It must describe what the number is connected to. For instance, mass. And it says of unlit candle with base, unlit candle without base, and then the light and the candle with base. A little hard to read. The number needs to be given with the correct number of digits and the unit connected to the number. One thing I would critique is whenever you do a table, particularly if you're going to put it on a spreadsheet, you should have the unit up here and only numbers in here. So mass would say open parentheses G or grams, and length would open parentheses centimeters with then a closed parenthesis. You can see the mass and the length. Now you can critique this data table. What data is needed in the volume calculation that does not show up here at all? Well, it's the height of the candle. Do you think it's smart to rough out your data table in your lab notebook before you put it on your lab report? Or should you write that data right in the lab report form? Think seriously about that if you think that the answer is no. Here are some calculations, and you can see a volume calculation and a density. Now, when you do calculations, show calculations, you should always put the formula, like volume equals height times pi r squared for a cylinder. Put the formula first. You don't see that in this report. You just see the numbers. Then you show the numbers and the answer with the proper units. Here, cubic centimeters would be the volume, and that is kind of hard to see as cm. I see a c cubed there, or a c3. And here, grams per should be cubic centimeters. You'll also notice that there are numbers but no units in that volume and density calculation. Here you see the same thing. Is anything missing? Yes. Units inside the calculation are missing on both sides. Is anything wrong? Well, yes. The height is not included in the volume calculation. The centimeters squared on this side turns into centimeters cubed here magically. and then it turns into meters squared and cubed in the density. I see meters cubed here. So how centimeters squared turns into centimeters cubed, and then the meters squared, that's a difficult one, meters cubed. So this needs a little work. In the experiment, we told you to write your observations of what happened during and after the burning. In future experiments, you're going to have to develop a conclusion that answers the question raised in the objective. Here, the conclusion is really a narrative about what happens, but chemical changes and physical changes are specified in here. So this is a pretty good report for a first chemistry experiment.